The 7962 is an enterprise class 802.11n 3x3 access point. Now this is a concurrent dual band, which means it's got two radios in it, so you can have clients on both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz simultaneously. The 3x3 two-stream gives you the ability to have a total data rate of 300 megabits per second. Now one of the things you want to do is always make sure you can get that 300 megabits per second as often as possible. That's accomplished through antenna systems. Now, ours has a dual polarized antenna. Now let's take a look at that antenna more in depth. Taking the cover off the 7962, you see this fancy antenna system. Now normally, an 802.11n access point from a competitor will have 3 or 4 omnidirectional antennas. What this has is actually an antenna array that is comprised of 19 antenna elements. You can see those elements. You have to look very closely around here, but you actually see these multiple elements. Now starting from the top, you actually see that we have one element up here, but this also has accelerometers. Now an accelerometer is what tells your smartphone whether it's portrait or landscape. This actually tells our system whether the access point is vertically or horizontally mounted. That actually can change the pattern of the antenna to better accommodate client devices. Now looking around here, you see a lot of different pieces of metal. These are all antenna elements. Now what happens is as the radio chip transmits, it actually has a switching system that decides where that energy flow is going to go. Now I'm going to take a look. I'm going to take this apart real quick, and I'm going to show you the bottom side of this access point antenna. Now as you can see, I've taken the antenna out of the access point. It's the same thing we see on top, but let's take this and look at the bottom side. Now this has the normal 6 wires, 3 for 2.4 and 3 for 5 gigahertz that you would get with any normal system. But the magic happens back here. There's a bunch of switches, effectively, controlled by this pin system that controls the flow of the energy. Imagine it kind of like a lawn sprinkler system. You only want to cover the corners or cover one particular area and not others. You have valves that turn on and off, and that's what this system does. But the magic is it does this packet by packet. So as energy comes through for one particular client, the system creates a pattern just for that client. Then the next packet, 20 microseconds later, gets a custom packet just for it. Now on the access point, you see that we can lift this up. It has power if you're doing something like mesh or you don't have a PoE available. You have AC power here. You have PoE ports in. These are both gigabit ports. It's got an optional button, which optionally doesn't do anything quite yet. It has a soft reset, and then if you need to do a hard reset for any reason, you see that up here. It's got indicator lights, optional light for the optional thing that doesn't exist, the director, which tells you it's connected to a zone director, and the status of both the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz radios. The 7962 is truly an enterprise access point. With the dual polarity antennas, it's high range, high availability. It's really good for high density situations. Schools, stadiums, and situations where you have a lot of mobile devices, devices that change in polarity. The multiple polarity antennas of this is going to provide consistent high-speed service to any device that you want to connect to it.